The Gout Gout situation is evolving. And this time he was running in Australia because people were paying attention. I was paying attention. And it's hard to pay attention to what's going on in Australia when Gout Gout is running. So that means people want to find out. Because when it comes to the footage, when you find it, it's not always looking very well put together. That said,
Hmm.
we see them clocks. So he's running at a under 20 championship event. And the clock that mattered to me was 20.05 wind legal in the 200. And he did that with nobody in the race who could even get close to breaking 22.
Yep.
Just being honest, that's what happened. And in the final, he with wind assisted, he goes again. Nobody breaks 22 again. Like they couldn't.
It's
It was wind
crazy.
assisted, and they couldn't break 22. But he goes 1998.
Yeah.
So he's running time trials and running that fast. So I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna just pass it off and be like, the Gout Gout situation. What are your thoughts? Because
Okay, so
it's a situation.
it's a situation. I think where I've come down on it is so I love to see him run. Like he's having fun. He's still young. He's professional now. He's has a signed contract with Adidas, so he's in that realm. But the thing that I'm finding interesting is like you said, he is beating these guys who are not breaking 23 seconds. Like not even close. So what is he
Well,
gonna
some of
do?
them. There was other guys who broke 23.
Okay, yes. Sorry. let me be
They
let
had
me
guys
be
who they had guys in the 22. Some of them didn't
that
break 23. Just to clarify, some of them
yeah, oh
didn't.
my bad.
There was
My
still
bad.
some 23 threes, 23 fives in there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
at the end of the day, like the last finalist, I think was 23 five,
Which is crazy. Which is crazy.
which means like
So
I think I could stride that out like tomorrow.
which is wild. So obviously now Gout Gout is competing against these guys, essentially no competition, no competition. And the thought process is not the thought process. The fact is you are a professional as it relates to the track and field world. You're a signed Adidas athlete. You just trained with Noah Lyles in Florida. You were training with literally the fastest man in the world. So what can you do when you're actually lining up against the other fastest men in the world? Because we haven't seen that yet, right? We have not seen him put down a performance that's like making the world go crazy against other guys who are able to run just as fast and specifically even faster. So what is he going to be able to do when he has true competition? And can he still be the Gout Gout that we know? Or is it going to be another situation where he's maybe in fifth place. You know,
Well,
I don't know.
let's start here. Who is the Gout Gout that we know? Because we've had this discussion before and we're having it again. Because as long as this remains a situation, we'll be here to cover it. So, for that reason, who is the man that we know now? Because I know what I remember.
Mm.
I don't know if everybody had the same recollection. Remember, I followed the movie as well as the script goes from the beginning to where we are at this point in the plot. So, what I remember was he sent shockwaves and I paid no mind. And then he showed up to World Juniors. And remember,
Mm.
he was second in the 200. I don't think he was in the open one.
No.
And Walaza wins it, which is another discussion, which I guess blends in here. Walaza and what he pulled off.
Yeah.
So, because he broke sub 10, and would that win legal?
That was win legal. Yeah. 9.99 win legal.
Was it 1-9 or was it like 1-0 or what was
It
it?
was like plus 1 point something. Yeah. I forget the exact one,
Okay,
but
I had a feeling it
yeah.
was 1 point something.
Yeah.
Because
And it was like altitude. So there's some
yeah.
adjustments.
All right. But at the end of the day, he ran fast.
Yeah.
So still, like, so what I'm saying is from what happened, I guess like the back part of 2024, like those fast clocks, this is just a continuation of that. But what people, because I did a poll on my channel. I did a poll and a lot of people responded, which means more people responded to that poll than almost any other poll that I do. It was right up there with
Mm.
like my top polls ever, where I was just like, yo, like, do y'all think that Gout is ready to like go after medals? And I would say about 60% or like a little under 60% of the community was like, nah, stop it. Like this is all hype. Not that he's not fast, but that like putting him in the conversation with medals is getting ahead of ourselves.
Mm.
So, I mean, I guess I'd say like what are we expecting? Because we're watching him run these crazy times. And it's almost like there's multiple conversations here. One is he ready for medals? What are we reasonably expecting in 2025? Because the level of attention he's getting is way beyond anything else we are used to seeing for an athlete
Yeah.
in his position. So that's one end. And then the other is even like beyond this, what is the reasonable expectation for his long-term development?
Hmm. So I'm thinking about because like, all right, when we look, especially long term, but like kind of even in the short term, I know people don't like it, but the Usain Bolt comparisons. I'm thinking about, and we've spoken about it, I think, a couple times in previous episodes, where it's like Usain Bolt, 2002, 2003, he was the guy. He was the next up at that point, breaking all the world junior records, the world youth records. He was a junior champion. He had all that, sub 20 seconds, you know, all of that. But then you get to those years 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. Like before we know Usain Bolt, that we know today, he was finishing third, fourth, fifth in various different races, right?
And
He didn't
nobody
have
really paid attention. Yeah.
Nobody paid attention. He literally did not win a single global medal until 2007 when he got silver behind Tyson Gay at the World Championships. This is all occurring after he already was the next up. He
In the
broke the
200.
world
That was
in the
a 200
200.
silver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't dip into the 100 yet. But again, that's why I'm looking at a similar situation. Now, obviously, Gout Gout and Bolt are different, but just to say that there's some parallels where Gout Gout could be this next up, but I want us to set expectations where it's like we're not surprised when he goes into a race with Noah Lyles, with let's see with the Boho, and starts to finish down the pack behind a Kenny Bernard. Like there's he's gonna have to
Well,
step up with the big guys at some point, and he's not always going to be winning races or even finishing top three. Like that's
Aaron,
going to happen.
my brain is like while you're talking, I'm like, to be honest, Area Knighton is a much more valuable comp than Bolt.
Of course. Oh,
Much more valuable. And I'm gonna say a
yeah.
lot of unpopular things right now. But hey, let's go here. Let's do it. Hey, strap
It's a
up, let's ride.
conversation.
Comment section, let's roll. Let's do it. Um, when you talk about Area Knighton and what his progression actually was, or it had been to this point, if we're 100% of real about that progression, I think because people get ahead of themselves, I'm going to look at the evidence as we put it together. Arian Knight, in if you look at him back when he first burst onto the scene, which would be the AAU, right? Think of his AAU year
Mm.
as Gout going off, like when he goes off with the kids.
So
Same
what is
thing.
that like 2020, 2019 or
You
no,
know, he
that's
like well, he was 20. I mean, I don't remember the year of calendar. I know he was 16 when he goes to
okay, yeah. So
AAU and
it's
with
like
like 20.3 or whatever, and everybody's like, "Whoa, what did this
okay, yeah, yeah,
16-year-old
yeah.
kid just do?" Right? Same thing, like exact same impact of Gout just going off the way he did in the back part of 2024. And here we are, where because every night in turn pro while he's in high school,
Yeah.
goes to the Olympic trials and makes the team, and that's a big deal in America. So when he does that, he's a kid. He looked like a kid for the most part,
Yeah.
and by kid I mean like teenager.
He was like
But I'm
17, I think.
yeah, but like and Gout is 17 now, so
Yeah.
exact same, they're in the same spot. But here's the thing: this is where it gets where the part that gets unpopular. There's a reason why Arian Knighton today is not much faster than that kid. What people don't realize is you can't run these times if you are not very close to your full development as a man. So what I'm trying to
Mm.
say is Arian Knighton today is stronger. Just look at him. Look at footage of the young kid, and then look at him in 2024. He don't look the same. He looked bigger and stronger, but he wasn't faster.
Mm.
He might have even been better, but he wasn't faster. Let that think in for a moment. Did it
Yeah.
ever occur to you that whatever body chemistry you're seeing out of this kid that was walked into and matured, because there's two ways it looks. We're used to it looking like a freshman in high school who's already built like an NFL linebacker. Like I'm embellishing a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's a fast freshman who just ran a really fast clock. I mean, I looked into it. I mean, I'm sure he'll pop up on my rankings when it's time. But I mean, that said, um, Just look at the kids who do these things. They're developed. Like
Yeah.
physiologically. They don't look like 14-year-old, 5'8", 125 pounds. They look more like, oh man, you might be a freshman in high school, but you got a mustache. And you fill out that shirt pretty solid. You know what I mean? Like he a freshman, but that's just what class is he taking. So I'm saying it's possible that Gout's body, this is how it's developing.
Yeah.
And in other words, this might be his man status already, and he might now have to grind it out with the weight room and everything else from this point. Because when people talk about age, what they're saying is they're correct on some level where there's a degree of magical like progression or like this automatic growth you get when you're getting older,
Mm,
and that turns off when your body crosses over to being man status. But you ain't running 20 flat in a 200 as a kid. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like kids can't do that. So he has to be running with some degree of his man status already. So I think
Mm,
that's the issue when we want to clip on the afterburners and say he's just going to go do these crazy things. Because the reason why Bolt didn't just clip on the afterburners either, he had to figure it out. And that's a
yeah.
process that takes time. I don't know how long it's going to take him to figure it out. So all I know is he's now crossed over where you will now be held accountable as a professional athlete. But it was still awe inspiring to see that he could run that fast by himself because these pros be afraid to run. That's the thing about youth. Youth don't care. Gout
Hey,
think he can
go
run
out there.
fast every race he run.
Yeah,
In his mind,
absolutely.
he's like, why can't I?
Yeah, absolutely. But then I wonder again, I'm going back to because I feel like we're in like the track and field community. There's a reason that all these Gout Gout videos go crazy online. People love to see him run. People love like what's going on right now. But I do wonder if people are ready to see him go up
No,
against these guys. Like
they're
I don't
ready for
think
the first race.
they're ready for the first one. And
They're
then
not. They might even be
yeah.
halfway ready for the second. But if he's not ready to be a world beater right now, the conversation's gonna flip.
Flip.
And we're
And
not going to
yeah,
start seeing a lot of, to be honest, we're going to get a lot of gout bashing. Like
which is
people are
crazy.
going to,
Yeah.
because people are going to act like, okay, what was it that just happened? I'm trying to remember how it was framed. Like there was some event that just went down where it was like, oh yeah, it was File lost in the 400.
Oh
I
yeah.
made a video to put it in context, but I still was like, hey, should we be worried about him?
Yeah.
Is this concerning? Like that's what I'm putting out. That's the concept. Like if I put, hey, comment section, if I put a question mark and then an exclamation point next to whatever I said, I'm asking the question. But I'm asking it in like I'm pushing out whether I ask the question, like I'm projecting.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, we shouldn't be worried. He'll be ready when the moment is here. But yeah, he was losing some 400s. He didn't start the season off fast. It is what it is. There are reasons
Yeah.
why that's happening and the way things are rolling out. So the article that I saw that said, what is it like? It was like massive loss or something like
Yeah.
that. Like the way they spin it to try to get people to come to the article, I'm like, that's what you're gonna start seeing with Gout Gout. Because right
Yep.
now the story is he's way out in front. But he
Yep.
ain't finna be way out in front in the Diamond League.
No. Like you just spoke about Area Knighton. We're not like we're a couple years removed from that young Arion Knighton who's like making teams, running 19 whatever. Like obviously he's still very good and he's made every single team for the USA, but like we're not seeing those crazy headlines anymore because things have kind of like come back to reality in a sense where it's like, "Oh, hold up. Again, you're a professional or at least like you're signed, you have a contract and you now have to run with these guys who are gold medalists, like Olympic and world gold medalists." Those performances were nice and like we love the hype, but like how are you going to actually respond when it comes to competing at the highest level against the best? And like Ariana, and he has multiple medals, and I'm sure that Gout Gout at some point will also get multiple medals, but we have to. I don't know. It'll just be interesting to see how the
Well,
community responds and also how Gout Gout responds when he's in these races.
but here's another layer of this. Let's go back to Noah Lyles and his journey.
Hmm.
Tell me if I'm wrong for seeing it this way. I feel like Noah came in the game in a down zone where Bolt had
Mm.
just left, and it was kind of like a hangover. and he was able to build himself up in the 200 and work his way through in the 60 and the 100 to getting to where he is now. But like again, he was irrelevant at first in the pro scheme of things, and then moved his way up. But when he's winning in 2019, keep in mind, man, like you beating Ramil Guliev, like no shade, but like you not beating Justin Gatlin or anybody who had that status.
Yeah.
Like it got way harder to win these 200s as the years went by.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
kept
yeah,
getting
yeah.
faster, and part of that was the field running with him. But like that's really what we was doing, bro. Like
Yeah. It was like a
Ramil Guliev
reset.
was winning world championships in the Open 200. I mean, okay, he did it once, but like
I mean,
that
yeah,
really happened.
it
This is real
literally
life.
it was a reset. Usain Bolt retired, and we we had to go through all again. We had Ramel Guliev. Like we had that was the next thing that happened after Usain Bolt. Just to reset the field.
Because he won, and it was like, wait, did that just happen? Like,
He didn't even run sub 20 when he won that
yeah,
gold medal. I don't even or it might have been like 19.9 high, but it
yeah,
wasn't.
barely, yeah. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't the
yeah.
times we want to see now. So I bring all of that up to get to where we are in this current landscape. When Gout Gout is coming up, you got to look who's up. Noah's up there, the same guy who was you, Pat in the past, sort of, kind of, a
Yep.
version of that, who's now figured it out clearly. And remember, Kenny Bednarik gets slept on. He was the fastest American high schooler. That's what he was. End up in junior college for whatever the reason, and dominates it so much so he could forget about the NCAA. Like he didn't
Yeah.
in JUCO, he just didn't lose. The only time
At
he
all.
lost, he was hurt. He just didn't lose
At
anytime he
all.
ran. And he went like 19-4 when he was there.
Yeah. It
Remember,
was
but he
wild.
did he go 19-3 now? No, because it doesn't work like that. You run
Yep.
these crazy flash times and you don't really know how you did it. And then after that, you have to figure out how to get back. Who knows? Gout Gout might be, it could be any number of things, but I'm going to tell you what I don't expect. I don't expect 19-5. I don't expect 19-6 anytime soon.
No.
I
No.
expect best case scenario for him and his development. We might see 19-9 this year in a race that actually matters.
Yeah. I'm
I
pretty I'm pretty
doubt
confident
we'll
we'll
see
see that. Yeah.
even 1989 is might be pushing it. It might be pushing it to
Okay.
expect him to give that this year. I know we want to see it, but I'm just using real numbers.
Yeah,
Men who
yeah.
ran 19-4, two of them, and couldn't give that to you again.
Yeah.
Like could not. Kenny B ain't never ran 19-4 from then till now, as good as he is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Arian Knighton
yeah.
ain't never ran 19-4 from then till now, as good as he is. So we think that he gonna break the curve and be the one who's all of a sudden just gonna like we see a time and then we think that time means we're gonna see more of it. And it might be
Yeah.
maybe that's the time you saw. He might go into pro races, start running 20.3, and people say, what happened?
Exactly. So I guess one question, because again, we're coming off all the headlines. Next Usain Bolt, comparing him to whatever, whatever. Now he is 17 years old. We were just speaking about Ariane Knighton. Ariane Knighton has the world junior, whatever, I think yeah, junior record, U20 record at 19.84, or it might be faster than that, but like when he was 17 years old, he ran 19.84. Are we saying, do we think that Gout Gout can surpass that? And if he doesn't, do we look at him different?
I mean, who's we? I mean, you mean the
The
community?
community.
Because, like, I
Because,
mean, for me personally, I feel like I know what he is. The best thing that Gal
yeah,
Gal has going for him is he ain't American. So as a result, he ain't
that's
got to
true.
deal with our system. He ain't Jamaican either. He ain't got to deal with that.
True.
So for the
True.
most part, he's gonna be at the Worlds. Like, he's
Yeah.
more like ain't nobody really stopping him. I mean, Australia look like they want to run faster now, but
Yeah.
like I'm saying, like no one's stopping him really from making
Yeah.
these teams. So now his only thing he got to when he's there, what is he gonna do?
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm just thinking about again the
He'll be there in the
conversation.
prelims.
He'll be there. He has essentially right now in March, he has his ticket booked to Tokyo. Like he'll be there. Like no one is competing. I don't the 100, like you said, Australia's getting a little faster. Maybe someone could keep him off. But the 200, nobody's touching him. But people, again, we just spoke about Ariel Knighton. People may look at Gout Gout like, wow, he's we just came off a year of him. Every single headline said he's broken Usain Bolt's age record. Now at an age where Ariane Knighton, who's still active, has an age record. Are we, or at least we
Yeah,
we
they want
know
to
that
see him.
they want to see
He's
that.
he's supposed to take the next steps.
He's
That'll be the
supposed to
first.
continue.
That'll be the first like way in which the internet community will try to validate and or invalidate his success.
Exactly, exactly. So,
And
yeah,
they'll keep using a step ladder and say at this age you're supposed to do because what they want him to be is they want him to be the fastest at every age.
at every age,
And by the
exactly.
time he's 21, he's supposed to be the fastest we've ever seen.
Yeah, literally. But I like obviously me and you, we understand, and like people who are in the track world, they should understand. Like it just doesn't work like that. But the world is gonna expect
I
these
mean,
crazy things from him.
let's recap though that high school these races he just ran in Queensland because like okay, speaking as the guy with the high school national rankings, I'm gonna tell you what I just watched because I was watching. I couldn't watch the race. I was looking at the results. I'm watching it live, like live feed populate on my computer because I'm tracking these races. I even stayed up till 1:30 in the morning to see what the final was like. But fortunately, so here's the thing: if you want to understand it in terms of high school recruiting, okay, let's first back up. Gout Gout to the 99. That's fair.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes
Quincy
sense.
Wilson is a 99. If you look across, guess what? Gout Gout, you're right there with him. You're a 99.
Yeah.
It's real hard to get one, but he is one. So if he's a 99, then, well, the race he was just in, and he's the highest of 99s. Like
Yeah.
he's a Christian Miller 99. For what you've done, he's officially a 99 now.
Yeah.
And
That makes
he's
sense.
never going to run in the NCAA. But the whole point is that's that. He was in a race where nobody else there was above a 65. On
Mm,
my rating scale, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure everybody there would have been a 60. Some of them wasn't even that.
that's crazy,
Some of these kids with 1-star performances.
which is wild.
So you had a race with all 2 stars and 1 stars. There was 1 stars in the final, not the prelims, the final.
That's what I mean, man. He's not
Because like
competing.
one
All
because
due
1-star
respect.
kids go to
Come on.
college. They just go to D3 normally. I'll be honest, if you're a 1 star on my list doesn't populate 1 stars. No shade. We don't. And if you're a 1 star, like you could go to college, it's just not gonna be D1. Ain't no D1 school in the country looking for a 1 star. Not even at the walk on. Not one.
Man.
Just being real. Like you could okay, if you find one, like you could maybe find a school with like an open roster policy, but like you're never gonna run at their conference championship if you keep running like a 1 star.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
like they won't even put you on the bus. There's no point because schools have standards. Like even low level D1 schools, trust me, I went to one. They had standards. They'd be like, nah, these kids don't get on the bus. But these is who he raced with.
I mean,
So
that
it's just hard to explain like dropping a 5-star 99 point whatever in a race with only twos and ones.
is crazy.
And he really because normally you don't run like the 5 in a race like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't even put them there. Like, why are you
No,
signing
look,
them up for it?
even if he race it, you don't have to run 20.0.
Yeah, 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 that's
He could
true.
have
Yeah.
ran 20.99 and it would have been impressive by all other
Yeah.
estimates.
That would have been impressive. That's
By
crazy.
all estimates. In a normal high school, okay, let's say we in American high schools right now, and you are at you're at a regular high school league championship, and a kid run 20.9. How you feel?
I'm probably celebrating. That's a good performance.
Like, no, you said celebrate. I said league championship. I didn't say state because the performances we just watched that was state. That was league level. That was not state. I don't think there's a state in America that's that slow.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
Hawaii or something. No shade.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah,
again, like you got to
out,
be like
yeah.
New Hampshire or something,
That's true.
or like Vermont. He
We
ran with
just
like
watched indoor
league
kids.
championship performances
Yeah.
in like New
We
York.
we literally just saw at like Nike Indoor Nationals, like guys running 20.4, 20.5 indoors in the 200, not
Well,
outdoors.
20.4, 20.9. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, to the point, like that's indoors,
Yeah.
not even outdoors, right? And this is like their winter, like Australia's in like their summer season. So this is like they're peaking in a sense, right? So yeah, to your point, it's like, if you're running 20.9, it's like, yeah.
In a league championship, you don't need to run 20.9. You don't. in a normal league championship in America with a bunch of two-star kids, because any league in America, there should be two-star kids in those finals.
Mm,
That's why they're in. Normally, they'd be in the finals if there'll be some one stars who will make it in a final. In
we'll
an
make it. Yeah.
in an average league, when I say league, I mean like an 8 team consortium of schools, more or less, somewhere in America. Like let's say we're in Iowa somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like your districts or however they break it up, league, district, regional, not the
Yeah.
regional
Yeah.
maybe. For the most part, the 100 final, the 200 final is going to be one and two-star kids. And the two-star kids is going to feel good about themselves because they got a chance to win something. And if you're a three-star, you should beat them. If you're a four-star, you should run away. And if you're a five-star, you ain't got to try,
That makes sense. That makes
like at
sense.
all. Like there's no trying now. There's no world in which a five-star in a race with twos and threes is losing. They just go out there and be like I kid you not, I was a two-star kid and I used to run 200s off of the people in the lanes around me. My strategy, somebody asked me what my strategy was. The strategy was on the turn, I make sure I'm with everyone. I look around and say, as long as I'm where y'all are, I'm fine.
I'm good.
And when I'm coming out the turn, I leave them. And I was a two-star kid.
That's
So
crazy.
now
That's
imagine a
crazy.
four and a five,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
what it's
Yeah.
like at a league meet. Because that was my strategy for the league.
That's crazy.
That was my strategy. Because I was in a league where everybody else was ones.
Yeah. It's like that's it. I get off the curve, and if I'm with y'all, it's over. Like,
So the Gout didn't just he didn't he said forget being with him.
yeah.
He said, I'm gonna just run a time trial.
Yeah.
So like and again, that's the youth. And I love the energy. I love the like I think he has what it takes to do is just going to be like that transition to like pro mindset. And Area Knight,
Yes.
if you were to talk to him, Area Knight would be like, yo, like there's how I seen it when I was pointing at that clock at trials back in 2021. There's how I thought then, and then there's how I seen it now.
Hmm.
After he just ran an indoor 200 where he got beat by like some guy from Sweden or something like that,
Yeah, in a different
however
heat. It
many
was
years
like,
later, where
yeah,
it's like and they say, well, what happened? Were you not trying? He's like, it's different.
it's different.
It's
It's
just not
different.
what I thought it was going to be back then to where we are
Exactly.
now.
That's like that's the thing. It's like how is it going to be over the next couple years, and what is it going to look like when you're coming off the curve and you're either next to or behind Kenny B, Noah Lyles, Ariane Knighton, let's see, like how do you respond? You don't have the option to say, okay, let me just keep pushing. Maybe you can, but now you have people around you who can walk away from you. Like you walk away. You're going to get to the world championships at the end of this year. And let's say you make it to the final. These guys are running 19.4, 19.5. You're running 19.9. Maybe he'll be faster at that point, but it's just like, it's a different world.
I
It's a
mean,
different world.
if we look for how he ran that last race, because people always want to say drop him in the race. You know what? Fine then, because they want to drop people in races. Drop him in. Throw him at the Olympic. Let's put him in the Olympic trials in the 200. How would that have gone? Christian Coleman runs away and you try to chase him down. You didn't catch him.
Nope.
Courtney Lindsay, he had you at the turn and you ran with him, but you didn't get him either.
Nope. I
Noah
mean,
and Kenny were gone.
that race is
Nail that
over.
in. Like you come out the turn and just be like, we not running for that no more.
And then Ariane.
And
Ariane,
and Arian Knighton,
Ariane's also
he
gone.
would have beat you off the turn and stayed ahead.
Like that.
So I know we want to drop people in and like, oh, in the Olympics he would have did this, and I'm just saying, coming from our vantage point, from our part of the world, if we took his best race, all other things assumed that he's just going to give you at least that in that moment. Right now, the
Mhm.
best one he's given to life, like in his career to this point, that's what it looks like on that stage. It
Yep.
looks like what, maybe sixth?
Sixth place, maybe fifth, depending on how things go. Like you said, maybe Courtney, but it's like to your point, and you've said this multiple times in videos. At the end of the day, he's not a U20. Well, on paper, he's a U20 athlete, but he's a professional, right? He's not even thinking about anything else except I want to go to the world championships. You have to be able to compete with those guys. And this is what you got to do. You
Him
have to
and
be up
Fambale
there.
gonna be going at it to get like for a spot, for example. Vombele, that when
Yeah.
Vombele start rolling,
and
you
and
ain't never seen a gallop
and
like that.
Bombole, he makes finals. Regardless of what times he runs, he knows how to make finals. Gout Gout doesn't have that experience yet. So
I'm
like,
saying like I'm just imagining them in the semifinal heat, and I mean, hey, it could be neck and neck because Gal Gal his hundreds ain't like that.
yeah,
So if Vombele gets you out the turn,
it's over.
yeah.
It's over. At that point, it's over.
Just let it ride. It'd be like I wouldn't even. I would just be like, hey, hopefully there's another qualifying spot behind him.
They have those represage rounds or something like because
The
no, but
represent.
I mean, obviously, Gout Gout has a talent. He's going to get. I'm confident that he'll get to a point where he is going to be. We'll see him, Ariane Knighton, Taboho. Like we'll see them competing in the future down the line. I mean, Taboho, he's in another level already, but it's just I think we need to be careful on like getting him super hype and like setting these expectations where it's like by the world championships in September this year, he's going to be a medalist. It's like I think we need to slow down slightly.
People think it's kind to an athlete to sing their praises that way. I don't think that's kind. I think that's disrespectful and sets them up for a failure because that's how
Mm,
the world is set up. People like to build you up so they can knock you down. So when I say I'm a skeptic, I'm not a skeptic on his talent. I'm a skeptic on the narrative that he gonna
yeah,
go out there and he gonna be a world beater at 17 years old. I'm skeptical about that. I'm
yeah,
not cynical. I'm not cynical. However, they're the reason why people before you didn't do it.
yeah,
They're the reason. And it never, and again, but the people before you, we're not talking about the two stars. We're talking about the people before you who were like the high level, the last next world beater. They're the reason why they didn't, at this age, show up to those moments and just do
yeah.
it. There's just so many ingredients. So, hey, I mean, we're going to find out. I mean, wait, he's supposed to run again, right? The whole situation with,
That's true. On March 29th, I think I actually don't know if he's running the 200 and the 100. I know he's running March 29th, and I think he's running the week after that as well. Both of them in Australia. So we'll see. But I know at least we'll see him in a 200 meters again. We'll see how it plays out.
yeah. Wait, but wasn't there, like, isn't he supposed to face off like, with
I
Lucila or
don't
something like that?
No, Let's is running the 400, and Gout Gout is not running the 400. Yeah,
Okay.
because Let's is still doing his like early season, and I
Okay.
mean
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about. Let's is, he's just prepping for like
He ain't even worried about this. He's like, yo, let the kid do his thing.
exactly. So, but yeah, we'll see him, coming up again soon, in a short time. But that'll be another test at least. All right, the world's gonna go crazy and say like, is he getting faster? Is he, So
I
I don't know.
mean, at this point, the worst thing about it for him, or with me thinking through it, like, what if he go out there and run 20.4 and win a race by a second and a half? What's going to be the narrative? He got slower, or oh man, like, are we just is people just going to go radio silent? Is the internet? I don't think that's how it's going to go. I think the internet. I think every time right now when Gout Gout runs, it's going to be a story.
Every single time,
The
every
time
time.
when he's about to run, it's a story.
Exactly.
Like he will,
Ex-
more people will watch a video about him getting ready to run, like days before he runs, than they will to talk about actual pro races that are
Of
being run.
course. Of course.
They'll
Like,
watch more about him talking about running, like people talking about him running, than they will real races being watched.
oh, of
I think
course.
the views of actual pro races will be lower
Oh,
than the hype of an idea of him racing.
absolutely. Absolutely. We just watched an entire NCAA championships, which is on paper, we're talking about, you can call them professionals in terms of the quality of performances that some of these NCAA athletes put out. That did not get as much traction as Gout Gout stepping up to
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
track.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Like,
again, running on phone cameras. Like eventually there was some more like, exciting footage put together, but at the end of the day, like cinematic. But like for the most part, like people was hunting, bro. You got to understand when the phone cameras from like the stands came out, like when that got online,
yep.
people were zooming in. The blur, that's him.
Yep.
Like it wasn't like remember they just ran them off folk with phones,
Random. Just
and that went
people.
viral.
Oh man.
That's the
That's where we're
level
at.
of like excitement. It's like not a stream, not a feed. If let somebody do a YouTube live with their
Oh,
phone,
yeah, that thing crashing. That thing's
like,
crashing.
but the thing is, they'd have to figure out how to let the world know because they might have no subscribers, so there's nowhere for the machine to send it to. But
Oh
somebody who
man.
does have subscribers will screen record it
Exactly.
and put it back out, and then
Exactly.
that'll be where most people have seen it. They're like, oh, I seen it on that channel, not on the one that originally put it out.
Oh man. But
Yeah,
I
so
mean, hey, we Gout Gout, he's always gonna be a conversation. So I don't know. We'll see
well,
how.
we'll see how long it goes. But we're
Yeah,
riding the
yeah.
train.
My name is Anderson from the Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from the finish line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to The Final Leg.